Hello guys, welcome to the second part of the authentication process. And in this tutorial, if you haven't watched the previous one, kindly do so. We learned how to route from one page to another, as you can see here. So in this tutorial, we're going to build our login to look just like this. So let's get started. So first of all, we are going to set our view background to white. And also we are going to make sure our padding is also equal to 0. So let's run this and see. Okay, everything is as white. So let's continue. So now in our login side, we are going to have two sections, one here, one here. So we'll create a row. So ft.column the row. And in our row we have two containers. And in one container we're going to have a column to have our image, to have our text and other stuff piled up in a vertical way. So let's create our text field. So welcome back. Let's also set expand to true. But this I'll explain it as we go on, what the expand means. So let's run this and see. Okay, you can see there. Let me set the background to our custom background color. The color. And also let's increase the size of it. So let's take it 40 and the boldness weight equal to so it looks well, we are getting closer. So you can see we've increased the font there. We've created our color here, which is black. We've set it here. Then our size is 40. The weight also is bold. So now let's also align this to alignment center. So our alignment is going to be equal to ft main axis plus center. So let's run this and see. We see it has come here, just like as we have it here. Okay, so now let's also set our container padding to 40. So we can see it just at that side. So now let's create the other section. We are just going to copy this and paste it here. But you know that this one has an image, so we have our image here, which is this. And also, as we said in the previous tutorial, to add our directory, which is having our files and images, you add it to the main.py and in the assets directory variable, and you set the path to it. So that is assets, which we have it there. So to add our image, we are going to write image sr3, then the path to the image. So mine is images slash bj.jpg. So let me run it and let's see. So you can see it's there as it is. Okay, so what expand means that it should expand to the whole screen. And now with expand, we have it in from 1 to 5. So if in this container you want it to expand, take the only 2, then the next one should expand and take 3. You realize that it takes the specific path which it's supposed to take. So you can let this one take a 3 and the image section or the other container take a 2. All depends on you. So with the images, also add image fit cover, just like how we have it in CSS. So this is going to cover the whole section. So as you can see, that's covered the whole side. So with this, let's continue. Then we're done with the image. So let's write here should be normal. So let's see what we have in the so let's see what we have in the other one. We have an icon and a text. So let's do that. Before that, let's also set this horizontal ft dot. Okay, but we don't want it here. We want it rather on this one. Okay, so now it's at the center. So now let's add so this our text. We are going to take off right login section. Look here, 20. Change this to white. And this we're going to a normal. Then we're going to add our icons. Our icon. Let me copy the icon which we used in the previous one. We use this. Do not worry, you can when you write control and click on icons, you see all the icons here. So you don't need to keep it in your mind. So let's run it and see. Okay, our icon is there. So let's increase the size of it. 100. Okay, so we are almost the same as having it as this. So let's continue. So let's create our custom text field so that we can have our inputs, everything. So anytime we need it, we'll just import it. So in our component, we created a folder called component, and in it we are going to have our fields. So I'm going to write it down, then I'll explain what each and everything does. So we created our custom field type, custom field, and we inherited it from the default one, which is this, our text field. So in this, what we are taking is we are also taking an icon value, password equal to 4. So in case we want to set a password in it, we use this field. So by default, it's set to false. Our border also set to none. Can review. So these are fields which we might need in any other input fields which are needed. Input filter is to take, if you want the input field to take numbers only or text and numbers, any of them. This one will do more into it when we go into our fields, inputting of products and other stuff. So let's continue. So now in this one, we are going to create our email. And our email, we're going to put it in a container. So let's say we have our container. Then our custom, let me just copy the name. So in this one, we need only our label to be equal to email. So let's import this. So realize that in our field side we have label to equal to label, so we can change it anytime we want it to be changed. And now let's run this and see. Let me add this to our stuffs here. Okay, so we can see it here. So now let's add a border to this container. Okay, so we can see it is just as we have it here. Okay, so now let's create for the password and also our buttons here. So then I'm just going to duplicate it and name here password, and this change here to password. Then because it's a password, I'm going to now set password is equal to true. Then remember that we also have can review password. What this does is, you see this icon we have here, that is what it's going to bring, so we can reveal it or hide it. So let's also set this to also true. So now let's run this and see, but before that let's add this to it. So oh, okay, I added it to the wrong side. Well, let me add it here. So we can see that the email and password is just there as we have it here. So now let's add our button and also this text. So let me move this. So now I'm going to copy this. You can have a normal button, but I didn't really use a normal button here. I use a container for it. But in other tutorials, you're going to use a button. Okay. For that, let's set alignment. Okay, so we have it there. So let's add our height. So we can see we have our button just like how we have it here. Yes, so now let's create new account. So with that too, let me just copy this, duplicate this. We don't need background. Let me see the text again, create new account. Okay, so we have it here, so you can see. So now to make it complete, let's now add on click. A container also have on click on it. So with this, we are going to do a lambda function here. Then we are going to say page.go to sign up. So let's click on this and see. You see, we've gone to the sign up. Then when you come back to, we've come back to this side. Okay, so that's all for this tutorial. In our next tutorial, we're going to import the custom font we used in this one, and also we are going to create our sign up page. So thank you for watching. See you next time.